Between the months of January and June in 2022, 5 people went missing from this small town in Oregon, USA. 4 of those missing persons were never found, but the 5th was discovered inside an ATM machine in the middle of the forest. They had been strangled to death with their own belt. But before we get into what happened next, let me first tell you about the place where these events took place. It all happened in a remote coastal town called Piha, situated on the west coast of New Zealand's North Island. It's a small community of just 600 residents, far removed from the rest of civilization and surrounded by dense bush and rugged black sand beaches. For hundreds of years, the Maori tribe known as the Teatata have lived on the land around Piha. They are one of 14 iwai or sub-tribes that make up the Greater Waikato region. But modern-day Piha was only formed in 1958 when a group of Aucklanders purchased some land nearby and built themselves some holiday homes. Soon after, Piha became a popular weekend getaway spot for families who wanted to escape the hustle and bustle of the city. The name Piha itself comes from the Maori word meaning something that shines or sparkles. But if you ask any local, they will tell you that the only thing that shines in this place is the stunning black sand beaches. If you've ever seen a black sand beach before, you will know how rare and beautiful they are. And if you've never seen one, then let me tell you, there really is nothing like them in the world. You arrive expecting to see white sand, but instead you're greeted by a beach made of black volcanic rock. There are only a handful of these beaches worldwide, and Piha is said to have one of the best. It's named Lion Rock Beach and covers an area of 3 kilometers. While its beauty is mesmerizing, however, it's also quite dangerous. Located on the west coast, it faces some of the roughest weather conditions in the country, including large waves, strong riptides, and unpredictable surf. Many tourists are actually pulled out to sea every year, making Lion Rock Beach one of the most hazardous stretches of water in the entire region. So much so, in fact, that there are warning signs posted all over the place telling people not to swim here unless they are an experienced surfer. With such a beautiful yet deadly beach on their doorstep, it's easy to understand why people would want to move to Piha. It's a picture-perfect coastal town, almost untouched by the modern world. If you were to visit Piha today, you would find yourself surrounded by lush green rainforest and paddocks of grazing cows. There are horses everywhere, too, and even a few friendly goats. In the center of town, there's a small collection of shops, cafes, and pubs. And just down the road from there is Piha Surf Lifeguards Club, which has the best coffee in town. Most of the houses are wooden bungalows backed by large gardens and native bush. And together they create this kind of mystical village vibe, the sort of place where everybody knows your name and you can walk through the main street without having to worry about getting run over. It's also the kind of place, though, where people occasionally go missing. Over the past 30 years, 6 people have vanished from Piha without a trace. The first person to disappear was a 21-year-old woman named Tanier Furlan. On August 23, 1990, she decided to take her dog for a walk along the beach. She told her friends she would be back in 20 minutes, but she never returned home. Her dog was found running loose the following day, but Tanya's whereabouts remained a complete mystery. Her car was later found abandoned on the side of the road near the beach. But when police searched the area, they could not find any sign of Tanier. One of the last people to see her alive claimed that Tanier had recently become involved with some shady characters. Could this have led to her disappearance? Or was there something more sinister at play? The second person to vanish was a 27-year-old man named Ben Smart. On New Year's Day in 1992, he and his 2 friends set out for a day of surfing at Lion Rock Beach. The trio had been looking forward to this day for weeks, as a storm had just rolled in and the waves were set to be enormous. Unfortunately, though, Ben never made it out of the water. According to his friends, the last set of waves must have caught him off guard and pulled him under. But despite an extensive search, his body was never recovered. And it seemed likely that he had become another victim of Lion Rock Beach. Another 3 years passed before someone else went missing. This time, it was a 17-year-old girl named Amberly Gervin. She had been camping out with her friends on the northern end of Lion Rock Beach. When she went missing, her tent was found completely intact, as if she had simply walked away from camp. Her backpack and sleeping bag were still inside the tent, and so was her mobile phone, which was fully charged. Despite the police conducting one of the largest searches in New Zealand history, Amberly's body was never found and her disappearance remains unsolved to this day. For the next 13 years, Piha remained quiet. That was until 2012 when a young mother vanished without a trace. Her name was Olivia Hope, and she was only 23 years old. Olivia had moved to Piha with her partner and baby daughters shortly before Christmas. The plan was to stay there for just a couple of weeks, but Olivia fell in love with the town and decided to stay longer. On New Year's Eve, she visited the local pub for a few drinks and then later walked home alone along the beach. This was the last time anybody ever saw her alive. Her body was eventually found on January, washed up on the shore of a remote beach about 50 kilometers from Piha. Despite being half a continent away, the coroner ruled that Olivia had likely drowned after getting caught in a riptide. But her family refused to accept this, claiming Olivia was a strong swimmer and would not have entered the water intentionally. Furthermore, there was no explanation for how her body managed to travel so far. To this day, the circumstances surrounding Olivia's death remain unknown. In 2015, another young woman went missing in Piha. Her name was Carla and Burden, and she had traveled there from Auckland for a weekend getaway. She was last seen entering the Water Witch Bar and restaurant in the center of town. When she failed to return home, her family alerted the police. But despite an extensive search, Carla was never found. The last sighting of Carla was captured on CCTV footage, which shows her walking along the main road towards her accommodation. But she never arrived there. Her phone was later found on the side of the road, but there was no sign of the young woman. Some believe that Carla simply ran away from her problems, but others think she may have met foul play. What is truly terrifying about her disappearance is that we still don't know either way. 6 people have gone missing in the small town of Piha over the past 30 years. 4 of them have never been found, and none of the cases have ever been solved. Was this just a series of tragic accidents, or was there something more sinister at play? Here's what I find most interesting about this case. Each person who went missing did so under slightly different circumstances. Some disappeared while camping, while others vanished after visiting the local pub. Still, others were last seen walking home alone along the beach. What this tells me is that whatever force is behind these disappearances doesn't care who you are or what you're redoing. It will strike whenever and wherever it chooses. As for how many people this curse has claimed, well, that depends on whether you believe the locals. According to them, there have been at least 13 disappearances in Piha over the past few decades. But the truth is, nobody really knows. Some of the cases haven't been widely reported and others have never been solved. In the end, we may never know the full extent of the darkness that lurks in this seemingly idyllic part of New Zealand. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts. Who do you think is responsible for the Piha disappearances and why? As always, stay safe. And remember, evil never goes away, it only hides.